Minister publicly supported Biren Singh. When people said there should be President rule, Home Minister on the floor of the House said, "क्यों लगेगा President rule? President rule तब लगता है जब Chief Minister आपकी बात नहीं मान रहा है." He said the Chief Minister is actually implementing our initiative. And he said that when he is implementing our initiative, our plan, why should he be sacked? And you have been saying so, that this is not going to happen. So my question to you is, what do you think is the long-term plan from Delhi in context of negotiating this distrust? Because politically the support is gone. And it was visible during no confidence motion when Amit Shah defended Biren Singh.
Kartikeya, Amit Shah will defend Biren Singh because they belong to the same party, and usually you won't see a Home Minister criticizing a city Chief Minister and then I will have to answer questions to why you have not removed him. And it is, you don't impose President rule just because the Chief Minister doesn't listen to you. You also impose 355 there, where the levels of the security is with the state, with the central government, because the state has failed to control violence completely. That is something which the state has not been able to. Irrespective of which side of the fence you look at, the fact of the matter remains that when you say that you cannot talk to 20 or 50 civil society, I agree. But then who do you talk to? There are 10 Kukizo MLAs who are from the BJP. It is not like you say that the Congress has orchestrated this thing and all. They are BJP MLAs and they have said that we have no trust, this is our demand and let's talk about it. There has been no talk about it. And the CM is now known as the Chief Minister of Maithis for a very long time now. So, I mean, there has been no initiative also where you can see any semblance of a genuine crackdown. I completely agree that, it is easy for me to sit here and give gyan than for somebody whose life is at stake. If I was there, I too would want to arm myself. But that also displays the failure of the state to instill a sense of security in me. There is zero crackdown. Okay. You don't allow Assam Rifle to patrol. You don't allow. You say that there can't be President rule. You say there can't be AFSPA. Then how do you operate? How do the security forces apprehend those people who are carrying away with these guns?
Rajat, you want to come in? And then I'll play out the bite of the DG Assam Rifles. Can you please unmute yourself, Rajat?
I have disagreement with what was just said. Assam Rifles has full rights to patrol. They do not have policing rights, so to say, to arrest people, etc. Because that's how the structure has been. I mean, there has been an evolutionary journey wherein you can't go back to the dark old days of AFSPA again. That's too much of a regressive move, which would be opposed tooth and nail by all communities in the Northeast, because it's something that we have moved past. That's a draconian law, which I don't see that, with the operational might of our security forces, you can't execute operations without AFSPA. So that is one point. Second thing is, it was mentioned that the CM removal, non-removal, again, that's a political question and we should leave it to the politicians. But keep this in mind, every time there has been a conflict, be it the Naga and Kuki conflict, Rishank Kaishing was the Chief Minister. He was a Naga, a sitting Chief Minister of Manipur. He was also said that he's the Naga CM, not a Manipur CM. Move forward, go to Ibobi. Ibobi was said there was massive conflict between the Meitei and the Naga communities, by the way. And Ibobi used to be called that he is only a Meitei Chief Minister. So this accusation in a special, unique case like that of Manipur will always come to the sitting Chief Minister in such a scenario. This is, we know this for a fact, that there have been ample number of very, very bad phases of genocidal level community clashes, and every time the sitting Chief Minister belongs to one or the other community. And that's the unfortunate part. You don't see such level of heterogeneity normally in any other state in the rest of the country. So it's easy to put a tag there, but look at how do you start off the processes from here. It is said that these 10 Kukizo MLAs are not in touch. They are in regular touch, both with the MHA and the IB. Several rounds of deliberations have happened with them. Their discussions along with the Sioux groups, those discussions are happening. Civil societies have been invited to Delhi, ITLF, etc. Discussions are happening with them. Similarly, I mean, by the way, let me tell you, Churachandpur alone would have 20-30 civil societies. We used to, in the times of peace, when I used to We used to lovingly call Churachandpur as a city of presidents because there were just so many civil societies and everybody was a president of one society or the other. So that, I mean, it's a good thing in a way because civil societies act as a buffer between, demands of people, etc. But then in a conflict situation, whom do you listen to? So this is where on one side is these myriads of Kuki representative bodies that you're dealing with, and within Kuki Zo community, Thadao comes up with their own. Thadao is a small sub-tribe within Kukis. They come up with their own press releases and own demands. They support NRC. Then there are Zo communities which said we do not want NRC. So there are multiple level, and it's not a uniform, homogeneous
Okay.
ethnic community. There are all these.
Okay, let me, Rajat, I'll come back to you. Let me play out the bite of DG Assam Rifle.
Why should we be, partial to one particular community? We are not. And let me also add that we have soldiers from both the communities in our force. So if that be so, and we've had no issue of any kind of rivalry amongst them, that truly speaks of the leadership that is there both in the army as also Assam Rifles, especially army officers who've given all that they could to ensure or to try and bring about peace. We, along with the Indian Army, are playing a very big role. We are talking to the multiple civil society organizations that are there. There are the youth there and various stakeholders, essentially to get them onto the talking table and get this issue sorted out.
Prasenajit ji, you wanted to come in? Okay, I thought Brijesh wanted to come in. So my question to you is now even DG Assam Rifle has to say, boss, end this, we are neither pro-Methi, pro-Kuki, I have not heard for a very long time a senior general do a press conference like that and to come on record, which means that there were some pressures from somewhere and he had to come out and say something like that. And there were rebuttals also, Prasenajit ji, to Swaraj magazine and so many other people who have written. So in this theatre, I had seen Assam Rifle not only countering the militants on ground, but also standing for its own integrity in media narrative. कि बहुत से गलत चल रहा है. We are a neutral force.
Absolutely. In fact, Assam Rifles as a team turned out to be somebody reliable, for the communities, especially for the Kuki community, because they have protected both the communities from the worsening situation. They have rescued people from the moment of, from the jaws of death, So therefore, Assam Rifles has done a commendable work. But what has gone wrong here, when Assam Rifle is confronted by the civil society group of one side, so that certain armed groups can sneak into through that kind of a melee that is faced by the Assam Rifles and can attack on the other side. That's a kind of a strategic kind of a move. Now, Assam Rifles has not been given full power to contain the situation. Some of the power lying with the Honorable Biren Singh government. Now you see, the local government is not able to contain the vigilante groups. Especially the valley-based vigilante groups are able to fresh start off a counter-attack, and then again there is counter-attack from the other side. So somewhere there should have been a strategy of containment. Containment in the valley. It is not necessarily a combing operation, but it could be a strategy of containing by way of surveillance, by way of patrolling, by way of restraining people, so that they cannot carry arms and sneak into an area where they can attack. Now this was made, it was not so easy for a group to attack the other group, no doubt, but at the same time, use of drones and mortars, flying of drones and mortars and targeting the other community, the noted musician, who is very much celebrated, Mangboy Lungdim of the Kukizo community, who wrote this famous song, Aigam Hiloham, Is This Not Our Land, which is reverberating in the hills. And he was targeted with a drone. I don't know whether he was targeted or the mortar fell on him and he died. Very, very unfortunate. We lost a musical talent from the hills. So therefore, you can see innovative ways in which attacks have been carried out. And one strategy for carrying out such attack was to restrain Assam Rifles by the civil society groups. And this is something very, very significant in the case of the valley. And the government in power should have restrained that kind of an action by creating a larger sense of peace and stability, which has not been created. Of course, responsibility goes to everyone, but primarily the accountability and responsibility falls on the government of the day. The government of the day, though it is carrying out central diktats, yet it has not thwarted this kind of sporadic attacks that have happened in last 10 days or so. So therefore, time has come when urgent action is needed so that these attacking groups are restrained. I don't want to name them. Everyone knows their name, valley-based attacking groups, and also from the hills, some kind of a counter-attack. So both these groups need to be restrained by creating conditions of peace and dialogue as well. Dialogue is going on in Delhi, efforts are also on in Imphal, but people are not giving up arms because they don't have confidence. Government must carry the confidence of people. The government has not been able to carry the confidence and trust of the people. And this has been happening for last 3.5 months.
Okay.
Now, therefore, it required a central intervention which is not coming because it is repeatedly asserted that state government is doing its duty. But in no assessment, state government has succeeded in stopping the repeated acts of violence and counter-violence.
Okay.
And therefore, state government has become a little tilted and it has literally failed in the current situation.
Okay.